Good morning and welcome all to the pregame. I'm your boy Shawn, along with my co-host, storyteller. Eric's on here with us. It is the Hot Seat Presents Football Talk. Week 4. We live across your YouTube channels, Twitch TV, Facebook, wherever you're viewing with us, man. We appreciate you for tapping in. And you know what we do. We come in giving our unfiltered football insights, our weekly picks, and everything else in between, man. Good morning again. And there's a game going on right now. Out in London. You actually have the Minnesota Vikings and the New Orleans Saints actually out there playing right now. So before we get into that, let's get a quick pick in for that game.
Right
off the jump.
I actually think it's across the board though. So I think it's going to be simple.
Vikings, yeah. Jameis Winston is out. Yeah, Jameis Winston is out. Michael Thomas is out. They got a few injuries in this game. But you never know. Like, these London games be weird sometimes.
Yeah.
I think the best one I saw is when AP was playing. I think he was playing for Minnesota too, and he went ham out there. Like, almost, I want to say he approached almost 200 yards, I think. My number might be off. But yeah, that was the last time I really saw a good London game. But where is that even broadcasting on? Because I can't find it to say, unless you got like Sunday Ticket or something.
Nah, I got it. What is it on? NFL Network.
Okay, that's what. Okay, yeah. All right, that would make sense. Yeah. So, we'll keep you guys updated on that score if you haven't already, and if you're choosing to tap in with us.
Still 0-0.
Yeah, it's gonna be like that for a while. So it's right now. It's 9:30 for us, and going across the pond, I believe it's like I want to say it's a 7-hour time difference, maybe 6. So it's got to be roughly about 5 o'clock over there, something like that. It's an afternoon, so I know their time clocks are all messed up right now.
Well, real quick before they score, I think it's said that we all picked the Vikings.
Yeah, it did. Yeah.
So. Yeah. All right. So
appreciate you,
Clay. Make it seem like we picked the Vikings afterwards.
Yeah, we picked Vikings. Shout out to Claire, man. The fellas over at We Are Something Else, man. Make sure you tap in with those guys every Thursday live on YouTube at 9:30. They also have Soul Tales and everything else in between, man. Hey, shout out to all the podcasts who celebrated International Podcast Day a couple days ago, back on September 30th, man. You guys know there's nearly probably a little over 2.4 million podcasts in the world. So there's content all across the board for you guys tapping in with you. So we are thankful that you guys chose our content, our live shows, our podcast, along with We Are Something Else and those guys, man, to share with us each week. But we live right now, man. So again, if you guys haven't already, make sure you tap in with us, wake somebody up, nudge your significant other, whatever you're doing, especially if you're loving football, man. We are streaming live on YouTube and Twitch TV, as well as Facebook, if you follow us on Facebook right now. And as always, make sure you follow us on Instagram and Facebook at the Hot Seed Podcast. Hey, man, how you doing? How you feeling this football Sunday, brother?
I'm good, man. I'm blessed, and I'll continue on that story at another time.
There we go.
I'm blessed.
Absolutely. So let's get right onto it, man. So, of course, before we go into our NFL talk, we always got to talk about, give our college guys that love, man. So let's go ahead and go into our NCAA recap over the weekend. Some interesting games that happened. And let me get this other banner off here. So it's all out of sorts at the point right there. All right, there we go. All right, college football weekend recap. We still got the same top 5 at the end of the day. That being number 1, Georgia, Alabama, Ohio State, Michigan, and Clemson. They all went in. Georgia did look like they had we thought we had a little scare for a moment, but you can kind of say the same thing about Michigan last week. They were playing Missouri. They ended up winning 26-22. They put up 14 points in the fourth quarter. If it wasn't for that fourth quarter, Georgia would have been knocked off. And then you actually had, Ohio State cruised easily over Rutgers, Alabama over Arkansas, Michigan over Iowa by 13, and Clemson over by 10 over North Carolina State, which was actually a pretty good game, to be fair. My question for that is, man, contenders and pretenders, because we've seen a couple of teams that at the beginning of the season, there was a lot of picks that I saw that people like, it's like we do. They were seeing them in the college football playoff. One team in particular, Texas A&M. Jimbo Fisher, if you guys know, Texas A&M had the number 1 recruiting class of 2022 this year, and they lost again yesterday. And I know that can't be going well for him right now. So it made me think, if you thought about it, who's your contenders and pretenders right now in college football outside of your top five? Hell, even if one of your top five is a pretender, what you got?
For me, this is a up for grabs year to me because nobody looks excellent to me, and I think
Yes,
then
that
old
was
boy from
yes.
who got hurt? What happened?
Oh, from Alabama quarterback.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so there's a lot of teams out there that are going to be sketchy.
yeah,
But I don't know. I don't think Penn State is as strong as their record 4-0 is going to show.
right.
I'll get into my Michigan take a little bit later. Um, Ohio State looks solid.
Yeah.
Trying to think of anybody else up there. I mean, who will be your pretender right now?
Well, actually, two of the pretenders they already been knocked down. So the two I thought was Oklahoma and Texas A&M, and Oklahoma lost again yesterday to TCU. They lost 55-24. They got the doors blown off of them. As far as the top five, I think the top five was pretty solid, but I think one of them are going to fall because on the outside looking in, you got USC lurking out there. I know that Penn State Michigan game is going to be a monster for a couple of teams, for Ohio State and for your. Sorry. I said that the Penn State matchups, the Penn State
Yeah.
Michigan game and the Penn State Ohio State game are going to be monster games. But I think one team that I'm surprised they still aren't ranked, and if he's on here, he may be jump on in a minute. Miami. So they put it on Michigan State, and Miami is now 4-1.
You
That
mean
one loss.
Maryland?
Oh, Maryland. I'm sorry.
I was
Yeah,
like
I wish
Miami.
it was Miami. I wish it was Miami. I wish we
I
even
was
talking
like,
about them.
maybe
We,
he's joking.
yeah, we already know they pretenders. But Maryland, they're 4-1, and that one loss was a very, very, very tight game to your Michigan Wolverines, which yes, they won, but we know you and I both questions a couple of non-called ints and such in that game which could have made that go a different way. But Maryland is currently 4-1. They're not ranked, and they just beat an unranked Michigan State team. But these are named squads, bro. So I thought they would be ranked after last week going into this week, but they're not. So maybe with Oklahoma losing, Texas A&M losing, some of these other guys, they'll come into the top 25, and then we'll see what they go from there. So I think they're going to be a contender in regards to being a player. They won't make it as high as the playoff. It'll have to be some massive letdowns, and even then it won't happen. But I think they'll be a potential contender for next year.
Yeah, I won't touch on Michigan State until I see Gary on here because that's in fact, we should have pulled him into the show today because man, it's tough.
Yeah.
Tough.
Yeah. Absolutely, Kaleo. Absolutely. Yeah, it's like you said, it's been an interesting college football season because it's been all over the place.
Let me touch on my team then.
Yeah, go ahead.
Since they're up there and we're talking about contenders and pretenders.
Right.
I'm not going to so much put them in the sense of pretenders, but we spoke about this even last year on this. I believe Michigan's culture is so highly inflated.
Okay.
Because yes, we're one of those I guess you could say staples of college football and even basketball wise in that sense.
Yeah.
As far as the university and teams and all that. But it's not like we've run off 10, 15, 20 championships. Like this is not Michigan wrestling, or something like that. When we're talking these other sports, Michigan has the name out there.
Yeah.
But they're not running it off like an Alabama. They're not doing that. They're not winning the Big Ten every single year like an Ohio State. And I point that out because when we talk about contenders and pretenders, I think people put Michigan on this pedestal. And this is a fan talking. They put us on this pedestal. And I'm more in the light of I'm happy to be here. Like, oh, we're in a talk every single year now.
Right.
Because I went through some very, very tough years with this team.
Right.
And it all goes down into that what we were saying before, scouting and stuff like that.
Yep.
When you're losing people within your state and the connecting states to Michigan State, to Ohio State, there's something going on with the culture.
Yeah.
And that's why they brought somebody like Harbaugh in to, pull those people in like, hey, this is your nice stepping stone into the NFL. This is an NFL coach that was very
Absolutely.
successful up there. His brother, his family, very successful up there. They were talking about it on the last game. That him and his brother just be exchanging coaches back and forth. They went down a whole timeline of them just exchanging coaches back and forth. But on Michigan Sense, I think they're good this year.
Yeah.
I definitely don't think they're better than last year. Somebody said that on a broadcast the other day, and I was like, no, there is no Aiden Hutchinson on this team.
Right. Yeah.
We do
That's
not
a big difference,
have
man.
we don't have the speedy receivers that we had. The only person really there that is standout is Corum, who once again had a 100-yard game in his last game.
Yep.
But it's a combined effort, which is good. But when we meet like a Penn State, when we meet like a Ohio State, which this year, man,
it's gonna be interesting.
Gonna be tough.
That game will be interesting.
It's gonna be a very, very tough thing. Do I think we can pull those games out? I wouldn't be in no big shocker if we did, but I also don't think people need to be looking at us like, oh yeah, this is what it is each and every year, Michigan football, because we just got over that hump. I don't even want to go through how long it took us to beat Ohio State. And still didn't win the championship, by the way.
True.
So, but that was our championship to fans. We beat Ohio State. So it's kind of in that way. But I just wanted to put that out there about my team, because even watching the game yesterday, just to go into the game, and then I'll let you talk real quick. Playing against Iowa, right?
Yeah.
It was a tale of two halves. The first half, I want to say we went into halftime 20-0, something like that. And we were ruling it, even though we weren't really converting as much as I needed to in the red zone. They were stopping us there, which is key when you're playing teams like a Penn State, Ohio State.
Yep.
But then the second half, the whole game plan changed. And I hate that about coaching, bro.
Yeah.
That's not just a Michigan football thing.
Yeah.
I hate that. Like, what is this prevent, containment, all that? I hate that about football. Your offense changes. What are we doing? Do what you need to do. That got you to 20-0. Why did it change? And they're coming out lights out. So 20-0. Don't let your foot off the gas. This is college football. You're supposed to beat teams 59-0.
Yes,
that's how you move up these charts.
Yeah, that used to be a big thing back in the day during the BCS. Even they were looking at, hey, what was your score? How big of the score gap was. So that was a thing for sure. So I'm like, yeah. So, my team didn't play this week. The Miami Hurricanes. First and foremost, prayers, man, to everyone who was enduring that hurricane down in the Fort Myers area of Florida. Hurricane Ian, it did a lot of damage, man, all the way up through South Carolina. I know we got some of the rain up this way, but
they
Miami
basically don't even exist no more, man.
Yeah, man, it was rough looking at a lot of that. I think that was the first time, I believe they said in 100 years, that there was a direct hit on that Fort Myers area. And it made landfall at like a category 4, man. I was like, geez, and you're right there. I mean, it's like homes and stuff that's literally on the water.
But that's retirement area. But we'll talk about that on the podcast. But
so that was rough to see, man. But yeah, like my Miami Hurricanes didn't play this week. My unranked Miami Hurricanes. Next week they do play the North Carolina Tar Heels. And I got nothing much to say on that. They're one of those teams. They are, the best way to describe them is the Dallas Cowboys.
What's up, George?
I don't even know how. Oh man, yep. I know it's gonna come some point.
There you go.
They are the Miami Hurricanes, man, are a team that they are the college version of the Dallas Cowboys. And what I mean by that is we're all, and I'm probably a victim of it too, we're all still stuck in the success of the 90s. There's been a couple
man with your
years,
team. One could argue that even when they play, they don't play. That's just my 2 cents in the mouth.
True.
Oh wow.
They live off that name and what their previous accolades and stuff like that, man. And then it goes downhill. I mean, yeah. I mean, I think you said in the last live episode we were talking about the turnover chain. That turnover chain, I ain't seen that bad boy in a while now. It ain't even, you can't even get hyped no more about that, man, because we're losing. So
I ain't gonna lie. I was gonna actually go with George's point there if you put it up there. I don't think Miami's in the same realm as the Cowboys, even though they haven't won the championship in a while. There's been relevancy. Like Miami hasn't been.
Well, you from a marketing standpoint, I give you that. What I mean, I'm talking about the fan base. I'm talking about the fan base itself.
I got you.
Yeah, so yeah, it's definitely not on a level of relevancy, no. But the fan base itself, that's how we approach the games, and we get ourselves amped up. I get more amped up about Hurricanes games than I do about Washington games. I don't even know what that means, man. Like, I just be like, Miami, I'd be like, all right, let's go. That being said, yeah. So we're gonna see. Like, I think next week is going to be a big week for teams. We still got a couple of weeks before the first, BCS ranking comes out. We're only now for them. I think they're down like in week 6 or 7 of the college football season. Most teams around the 5 games played, 6 games played. So we're gonna see.
Right.
Oh my God. Yeah. Yes.
Vikings
yes.
up 7-0, by the way.
Yes. So we know. Yes. You said what? What's the score?
I said the Vikings are up 7-0, by the way.
I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised at all. So from our college football aspect of it, we got to let's, these guys eventually in some of these cases going to end up being NFL guys. So let's talk about some NFL stuff.
Yep.
Our Thursday night recap. So many things during this day. I will say this. It was the Bengals and the Miami Dolphins. And I will say, those Bengal unis, man, tough.
Yeah.
That white and black is hard. Like that whole white, that gave me, and I wish more teams would do this. It gave you the college atmosphere. That whole whiteout thing that Cincinnati had going, it was, and then they, the camera was getting different shots, and it reminded me of looking at something like at Penn State games or other games where I saw, they had that whole whiteout situation. Those uniforms are hard, bro. Like, they're so hard. It's Bengal Tigers. And the game itself was entertaining until it wasn't. And we might as well go and talk about it, man. It's what transpired during this game that ended up overshadowing any type of real good, if you want to call it that in this case. I'll say this though. So we all play DraftKings, right? And I don't even know how to feel about it now. So in the game, I play in like the little weekly joints too for the game. So I'm picking it up. So for the quarterback in the game, I actually picked Teddy Bridgewater in the game. I don't know what made me think I don't know what it was, but I just like, you know what? I'm gonna pick Teddy in this game.
You talking about in one of your
in my lineups? Yeah, my single one.
Wow.
Yeah. I picked Teddy, and I did not expect that to come. I don't know what it was, but they ended up coming through, but not the way that I anticipated. But I anticipated an injury. I don't know why I did. And
I can tell you why.
Well, yeah, that part too. And what happened is what we end up seeing, man. Tua Tagovailoa.
No,
I can never.
No,
Tua, man.
again.
I can't. Yeah, I can't do it. Tua
Tagovailoa.
Yeah, there you go.
Good.
His name be messing me up every time. He played in the game, man. Thursday night game, 4 days after suffering what everybody outside of the NFL and who was actually paid to do this stuff saw as a concussion when he played the Bills.
Oh, they knew it was a concussion.
Yeah, right. Yeah. And in this game on a tackle, he ended up getting kind of slingshot it down midfield and it ended up hitting his head again and suffered a second concussion. And this one, if you ever had a concussion, if you ever coached football or anything like, if you know anything about concussions, man, that second concussion is worse than the first one, especially if you get in a short period of time. So much so, you saw his body just really lock up. I was talking to my son about this last night, and he recognized what was going on. And he ended up being carted off the field, man. Gross negligence all the way around.
Yep.
From I want to say from the top, because I don't even know if Stephen Ross has been suspended for the year. So whoever is really running this stuff, from the GM to the coach, everybody going down. You've seen with Mike McDaniels, he said at a press conference, and I just kind of looked at it and stopped listening. But first thing, man, prayers to this young man, because he's a lot younger than me, that he ends up being able to function into his elder years. A lot of these things with concussions, man, a lot of these times those guys some of them end up suffering from it right then, but some of it ends up going down the years. See Junior Seau and guys like that.
Yep.
I'm hoping, praying that we don't have to have that conversation about him, but seeing what we saw Thursday night, man, was rough, bro.
So let's go into something real quick. Little breakdown, because I know people have been talking about it all week, and if you haven't heard about it,
right,
you kind of haven't turned on the TV at all,
right?
Whether you follow football or not.
Right.
But the Sunday before, he was pushed from his chest back onto the field, and his head smacked back against the field.
Yeah.
And you saw immediately when he got up, he tried to shake it off. He shook his head.
Right.
They're talking about back injury and stuff like that. You ain't shaking your head off from a back injury.
Right.
So he's shaking his head. He's trying to get himself straight. He takes a couple steps and then he stumbles down to the ground.
Right.
And then he gets back up and his teammates over there holding him up. And they're going into the point of halftime. So he goes back. They send him back there before halftime. I think it was like a couple minutes before halftime.
Yep.
And then he comes right back on out and finishes that game. That was the mess up right there.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody knew not only should he have not been playing in this Thursday night game, he should have never came back in that game.
Yes.
So when we talk about concussion protocol and stuff like that, I'm not even going to go specifically just towards that doctor and stuff like that. I'm going to go to the NFL because they're doing this investigation to cover their tracks,
right,
and go, hey, maybe we need to change some things about concussion protocol. When you leave the final decision in the hands of a team, quote unquote, doctor, they work for the team. They're doing what's best for the team, not the individual. This was a huge game.
Right.
Tua was sitting back there going, I want to be back in this game. I want to be back in this game. So he's thinking in that sense. Coaching, whether they said, we definitely want him back, they got their hands off, kind of like, we're just going off of what you say. You give the final decision. I'm just saying, big game, but you give the final decision. And then they saw that certain things weren't marked off on correctly as far as being checked, and boom, he's back in the game. And then all of a sudden, not only is he back in the game for that game, comes back and wins, then he comes back for this Thursday game. And I'm telling you, before that hit, every single hit I was scared for, because I knew he wasn't there right.
4 days later.
Couple days.
Yeah.
Couple days. And that hit, by the way, did you see how hard he got flung back?
Yes. He got
worse than the first one.
Yeah. Absolutely.
That was worse than the first one.
Yep.
And when you saw, I know people were making jokes about gang sign block. When you saw his body freeze up in that way, you immediately knew.
Yeah.
It was a sad sight to see, but you immediately knew, like, this is not a game. And now they're going to go through covering their track. Oh, we're firing this person, blah, blah.
Yep.
This could have been avoided, bro.
So the NFL terminates unaffiliated neurotrauma consultant. Now,
they're just covering tracks, man.
Notice I started with the NFLPA. The NFLPA terminates unaffiliated neurotrauma consultant involved in tour. Yeah.
Players Association, for people that don't know.
Yeah. Concussion evaluation during week 3 game versus Bills. And what they're citing is a lot of quote unquote mistakes. Now, to my understanding, there is a person that sits up in a booth, whether they're at that game or they're watching it on a remote monitor somewhere. And if I'm correct, if he notices, if you notice something like that on the field and on week 3 where he had to have his balance or something like that, they supposed to hey, take him out. That's their job. The person that they just fired was not him. That's not that person. Right.
But then again, we don't know that person didn't do their job. They could have sat there and said, take him out.
Take him off the field. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. They have no say in whether he comes back. They just have
That's what I'm saying.
and being like, "Hey, y'all need to take a look at this." So for
Right.
all we know, that person could have been like, "Y'all need to take a look at this," because they did take him off and he did go into
They
the
did.
back.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Now
Right.
that
here's
person could have did their job.
now here's their here's
Right.
here's I want to put something up because when COVID was happening, the NFL, like most companies and entities, were taking their cue from the CDC, the government. So I'm gonna pull this up. This is directly from the CDC.gov site, and let me see if I can pull it up. Concussion symptoms reported. This is per the CDC.gov site. You can Google it yourself. Headache or pressure in head, nausea or vomiting, balance problems or dizziness or double or blurry vision, bothered by light or noise, feeling sluggish, hazy, foggy, confusion or concentration or memory loss, just not feeling right or feeling down. You see that one where it says balance problems or dizziness?
Yep.
He got up and fell completely down. And then when he got up, he was being held up by one of the offensive linemen. That's from the CDC.
It looked like a professional boxing knockout.
I was just having this
That's
conversation
exactly
offline with somebody.
what it looked like.
If you see in a fight when a boxer's there and they can't protect themselves, they don't have their balance, that ref typically going ahead, they waving that fight off as done. Or
Yeah.
you would think that your corner is throwing in a towel for you. And there you
But
go.
see, that's why I'm focusing on the part of how they got things in place. Because
Right.
it's easy to go to that one person
Right.
and say, "You're fired. You
Right.
messed up on this." But I'm telling you, man, money is a powerful thing.
Yes, it is.
Power is a powerful thing. As far as I'm holding your future in my hands.
Yep.
So I'm not going to say the exact words, but you know what you need to do.
Yeah.
You know how this needs to go.
It's been part of this. I was seeing different things. If you watch ESPN and stuff like that, you listen to Bart Scott, stuff like that. He made some valid points as well. Like it's one of those things to where I don't care if Tua passed whatever their protocol test is. You can beat that test. But he made a comment
The
that actually makes
baseline
sense.
test.
Your baseline test, you can fake
Yep.
that test out.
Yeah,
But also he brought something up that was very true as well. And this is not to put any onus on Tua, but Tua is not secure as the quarterback of the Miami Dolphins. So of course you have to protect the player from themselves. Hell, I coach football. I had to protect my young guys from themselves. Hey, coach, I'm good. No, you ain't. I had a little bit more power than me being an adult. I need a pull this helmet. You're not in. Tua is looking at, I believe he's in his fifth year, I believe. Fourth or fifth year. He hasn't
questions going into every season, including this one.
And him being able to stay healthy. So the last thing he's probably thinking, hey, look, I got to get through the season. I got all these weapons to remind me. I need to prove I'm that guy to make sure my longevity goes into the league. I mean, goes to the NFL. And two, I'm able to sign my first substantial contract. Not saying that's everything he's thinking about right then, but that's some of the things in the back of his head. Like, don't fuck this up at the end of the day. Now he can't help the fact he just got a concussion, but you got a lot of emotion and stuff like that is happening as well. But then at the same time, you have to protect the player from himself.
Right. Actually, he might be like his third year, ain't he?
Is it 30 year?
I don't think
Eric,
he came the same year with Justin Herbert in him.
Okay, this would be 30. Okay, got you. Okay.
Eric, let me ask you something, and Shawn, you can chime in too. I mean, I know we do all this testing and we can beat the test and all that type of stuff. From the just regular average fan watching, everyone knew he shouldn't be on that field, bro. Am I mistaken by that? I mean, when you get up like that,
we're talking about from Sunday, correct?
I'm talking about from Sunday.
Sunday alone.
Oh yeah.
Everybody knew he shouldn't have returned to that field.
I knew he wasn't going to return to that field so much that when we were all watching, I put in our little group chat that we had for our I can't remember if it was the fantasy one we had or the other one when I put out there, and I was like, well, there goes Tua. And I was sitting there saying he's out the game, and then Gary ended up commenting back a couple minutes later saying Tua's back.
Yeah, that's
right.
That's reckless, man. Like I said, some things can be done to testing. Some things is just the naked eye truth, bro.
Yeah.
Everyone knew he shouldn't have been back in that game. Whether he had played Thursday or not, everybody knew he shouldn't have came back in that game.
You know what? Now I think about, I actually referenced it as a joke because I said then when I texted, I actually sat there and said, "Not so breaking news, Tua knocked out the game." I
Right.
think that might
Yeah.
have been what I
Right.
texted you
Okay.
guys when because we had talked about it before, talking about how he was
He
injury
always gets
prone,
hurt. Yeah.
and then you just
Yep.
got some of those guys like that. So when it happened, I was like, oh, not so breaking news. Tua's out the game, and like I said, then a few minutes later, Gary came back and was like, Tua's back in. Like, what?
And that's why you got to take it out the hands of the individual off of Shawn, what Shawn just said, because not everybody's Aaron Rodgers go down like that. He ain't worried about no love coming up behind him and
Right.
he's content. If you are asking me questions and millions are on the line, and I know I've had a question mark going into each and every year, and this is kind of like the last shot, the last hurrah, I am perfectly fine.
Bruh. There's a
I
line.
am perfectly fine.
There's a line in one of my favorite films, Rocky. I want to say it was Rocky 4. And then Rocky
If she
says to
dies,
his
she
corner,
dies.
he said,
Oh,
no,
sorry,
not
wrong
that
one.
one. For that, he said, I see 3 of them. And then
That was actually Rocky 4 though.
yeah, Rocky 4, Rocky 4, I'm sorry. He said, I see 3 of them. They were like, punch the one in the middle. They could have asked Tua, hey, what you see, man? I'm seeing double vision. Hey, focus on the middle one. And I'm gonna go even further.
Or he could have just been like, I see fine.
Right. This whole situation, that you go past Sunday, the whole thing has been mismanaged. Because if now, at the point now, when the NFLPA decide, hey, we're going to launch an investigation, you would have thought that right there been like, you know what? Maybe he shouldn't play Thursday. If we're questioning if this man actually had a concussion and went back in, he should have been on Thursday. That should have, maybe they will. That should have automatically made him exempt from playing Thursday. And 2, what made it even worse is whoever decision this was, need their asses fired too. He clearly had brain trauma on Thursday night. They allowed him to fly home from Cincinnati to Miami after the game with the team. All of us have flown on a plane. The pressure alone, when your ears pop and stuff like that, is enough. Can you imagine how he was feeling, perhaps? Now, if they gave him some drugs or something like that, maybe not. But how dangerous is that to put him on a team plane just a few hours after he was admitted into the hospital? What kind of shit is that? And then you have these ignorant ass coaches, and yes, these ignorant ass coaches like giving you this, I would never put this person in harm's way. Look, Bart Scott said it. I said a lot. I even said a lot about your personal jobs in the world. Nobody gonna take care of you like yourself. And I know these guys have millions of men. I know all the football aficionados gonna say all this other shit. These entities don't give a fuck about you. All they think about is that bottom line. Right. That bottom line, bro. That's all they care about.
He meant brain.
Brain, yep. He shouldn't play for at least a week. And I'm gonna call out a person who his career ended very, very quickly. Played for my Washington Redskins at the time, Jordan Reed.
He's a machine rock. You can't beat him. I'm sorry. I'm done. I'm done with the quotes.
Jordan Reed, and
If I
Dave
can
probably
change,
agree with me.
you can change. All right, I'm done.
Oh my God, Jordan Reed, man, would have been probably one of the best tight ends in the league. Jordan Reed, in his short amount of time, if I'm correct, had, and you may know the number more, Dave, 7 concussions in the matter of his 7-year career. Kaleo may know if tap in, man. Yeah, they are. And like, look, considering everything that's going on with Miami, you can't trust the shit that's going on with them anyway. But Jordan Reed, man, 7 concussions in his short career. That's like a concussion per year. They forced him to retire before the age of 30, I believe. This man had 2 concussions in a matter of 4 days. Right.
Yeah.
So we're gonna see what happened, man. Like you've only seen the firing by the NFLPA, and now you look at they need to revisit the protocol. Look, man, if you really care about these players, and it's on media, it's on anybody who's pushing the narrative, man. Look, somebody gotta be held accountable, man. You gotta be held accountable. You gotta be held accountable at the end of the day, because now all those little commercials and stuff you see with NFL play, and they got the kids and stuff like that. This is the kind of, somebody's kids was seeing this.
But see, and once again, this goes back into how the NFL and the entity by itself is ran.
Yeah.
What are you going to do?
Right.
How hard you gonna come down on me? You
Right.
work for me.
Right.
So, all right. Hey, let me tell you what my fine should be. That's basically the conversation. who I got to get out of here?
It's
That's what's going on.
it's and yeah, man, all the better for Tua, man. Hopefully he makes this out, make it out of this, okay. But man, it's looking tough on it. So of course, man, we had this new segment because it's NFL, and if it's not NFL, you know, you always got more news. So let's go and do it all. Let's see what we got.
And more news.
So did you see?
Go ahead.
Did you see this guy? This story that popped up on none other than everybody's favorite. I ain't put the picture up. Sometimes you just got to keep AB out the pool, bro. If you don't know what I'm talking about, apparently everybody's favorite wide receiver, Antonio Brown, is back in the news again.
Who's still a free agent, by the way.
Still a free agent.
Actually in the pool.
Right.
Go ahead.
Still in the pool. For not even allegedly, he did it. There's a picture out there. It's blurred out.
Video on everything.
Exposing himself in the pool to other people in the pool. The reason, I don't know. Yeah, what you got, Dave? What you got? Yeah.
This is the case. Man definitely had CTE, right?
Yes. I was actually going there. Go ahead. You can go on that side of it.
Nah, that's all I had to say.
Yeah.
But yeah, this actually was a perfect segue from what we were just talking about.
Right.
With the head traumas and things like that. Last year we spoke about the fact that, forget the whole football sense, I'm just scared for this man.
Yeah.
Because it's one of those things that we're going to turn on the TV one day and it's not going to be a good story at all.
Right.
And it seems like in his mind, and it seems like in his mind, the thing on top of that is he looks for that limelight. And that's what's even more like, they ain't talking about me, so let me give them something to talk about type thing. Now, and it's bad, man.
To be fair, now this is from May, apparently. This isn't new.
This is from May. Yeah.
This is from May. And here's the crazy part. This happened in Dubai.
Yep. He was attending a Floyd Mayweather fight.
Yeah, I'm surprised he wasn't arrested in Dubai.
Yeah.
Because I've been to Dubai. Yeah, that I'm surprised that didn't happen. I don't know if it was just kept under wraps. But the fact that he was messing around with this lady in the pool, man. He had some guys in the background, they were egging him on.
Started off cute.
Yeah, and he dunked in the water and everything there. He's ass naked in the pool. And yeah. I don't know, man. And this is also now
you are totally correct, Leo. When he runs out of money and fame, it is over.
Right. Yeah, it absolutely is over. And you'll see him on one of those. Do they still do those shows?
Bunch of enablers and everything around him.
Yeah. Right. 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 That is because he literally should have been detained and some. I mean, I've seen people get detained in Dubai and Qatar and the UAE for things that for their clothing being out of line. Well, I actually had a lady. I was flying into Qatar. They arrested a lady off the plane because she was drunk coming off the plane, and you can't be drunk in public. That's against the law down there. She was drunk coming off the plane.
Yeah, they said all they did was kick him out the hotel.
Right, which is crazy. And this is, of course, he's a quote unquote rapper right now, so he didn't actually show up to a event like within the last month. Didn't show up as well. I don't know, man. I don't know about it. Like, I feel like this is gonna be one of those tragic stories where you're gonna hear about them, and it ain't gonna be good. I thought we had kind of like got past that for a second, but nah, it's gonna, and to Cleo's point, when that high comes down and you in that room or in that place all by yourself, that's when that stuff gets bad.
But see, that's where those enablers come in.
Right.
He always thinks he's up here because all those people are around him to keep him within that space, if you get what I mean. Right. He's surrounded by people that have all that. And, they probably even feed him. Hey, come on over to here, so-and-so. Yeah, I got you, everything. You know what I mean? Like, it's It's a very bad situation, man.
I get it.
It's
Life
very
after the
bad.
NFL for some guys ain't good. See Brett Favre. But that's a whole nother conversation. Let's
He'll
talk
be
about
fine.
let's talk about something else. Let's talk about somebody who's not fine right now. And I want to change it up. We've all heard the term "let Russ cook." How about we just let Russ microwave instead? So I know he's everybody's favorite, quarterback in certain aspects. He's the total line type guy. He says all the right things and whatnot. And I know the Denver Broncos are 2-1 right now, but it ain't because of Russ. I'm gonna show you guys a quick graphic real quick because I know they love numbers. So his replacement out of Seattle.
Gino.
This is a quick thing. So Gino, this is Gino. 77.5% completion percentage to Russ's 59.4. 717 yards.
We need to start a new league in Madden so I can get Gino because he's probably updated right there.
Man.
Oh,
Don't get me started about Madden. I told you, I ain't playing with this Lamar no more.
We'll get there. Go ahead.
We'll talk about it. 4 touchdowns to 2 interceptions for Gino, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception for Russ. Yes, the Seattle Seahawks are 1-2, but we didn't expect them to be that good anyway. But the Denver Broncos are 2-1. Here's the big thing.
Can we argue the fact that if we're looking at a talent perspective, not from the quarterback, but from everything else around it, Seattle receivers are studs, and they got a stud tight end. I mean, if you match it position for position, both receivers for Seattle and their tight end is better than both receivers and the tight end for Denver.
True. But here's the thing. Who was the team that was, once Russ got there, was automatically donned a Super Bowl contender? It wasn't the Seahawks. It absolutely was Denver. He elevated them to Super Bowl. All they had to get rid of was, what was their quarterback that they got rid of from Denver?
Yeah, they said they were a quarterback away.
Drew Lock.
Quarterback away. Yeah, Drew Lock. And here's a bigger number. Gino's base salary is about $1.2 million this year. Russ' salary is $24 million. Remember, he signed that $263 million contract with $165 million guaranteed. I'm not counting his pockets. I'm just saying. I feel like Denver is going to hate that contract after this year. Unless, I know we're in the first quarter of the season. I know it's been 3 games. But a lot of teams, after those first 4 games of the season, and, Denver does play today, and they play against the Raiders, which I'll give you my pick and my say on that later. It's a high possibility they could end up being 500. And the worst team in that division, even though, they're, may have a better record than the Raiders have. It ain't looking good for Russ, bro.
I think when it's all said and done, I think the Raiders are going to have a better record.
Yeah, I think so too. I absolutely think so too. But what's your take, man? What's your take on this, on Russ? And no, I'm not saying Gino's better than Russ.
How much
I'm
are we putting on the play calling?
Yeah, you do got the new coach in Denver, yes. But I would think, but how much are we putting on Russ? Like, not just standing up like, hey, look, I got this. Like, with all the money they're paying him, you would think that he has that cachet like a Aaron Rodgers or a Tom Brady, which he clearly doesn't. See the 56-yard field goal that they chose to do instead of allowing him to push down the field?
Okay, but let's take in consideration that the head coach is the former offensive coordinator for Green Bay, correct?
Right.
And when LaFleur first came into Green Bay that first year, him and Aaron Rodgers, even though they went 13-3, those first several games, they were butting heads because of the fact that LaFleur wasn't letting Rodgers change plays. Right. So I mean, we're talking about the same people that just dealt with that with Rodgers his first year. So I mean, could Russ actually be going through that same type of situation right now, to whereas maybe he does want to change some things, but the coach is kind of like, well, I got a proven system. This is what I did in Green Bay. Look, we did in Green Bay, but yet they had to change their system, as they developed their relationship in Green Bay. So maybe he's coming in with that same hard stance, and they haven't gotten to that point where he realizes he has to let Russ make some adjustments.
I mean, that could be the case.
But I'll touch on something real quick.
Yeah.
Just to go back to something that we spoke about in college. I I always thought Broncos were pretenders anyway.
Yeah.
So I know we're putting it on Russ within this segment, but I just always thought they were too highly pushed up there in the first place. You're in a division, just a division by itself, with the Chiefs, the Chargers, and the Raiders. You got to cook. You can't just be good. You got to cook to make it on out of your own division. Then you made decisions in the past, as you can see, the Super Bowl whisperer. You let Von Miller go. You know, that's a big difference. You're not that stout defense that you were before. So when we're looking at it in its own entirety, I know the storyline was they're a quarterback away. I think they're more than a quarterback away to me.
Right.
So while we can just look at Russ, I think it's a team in general, all the way to the coaching, like Eric is saying. I just never looked at them going, hey, yeah, if Russ is there, this is what's going to happen. Because when I look at them, I still go, you're looking at the Chiefs.
Yeah.
You know, besides the bad
I
stuff going on with the Chargers. Like, I don't think
I always thought they were going to be third, if not fourth in their division anyway. I never had them in the top two in their division. I always had the Chiefs and the Raiders as the top two teams, and then it was kind of a coin flip for me between Denver and I know a lot of people believe in the Chargers, but I just ain't there yet. The Chargers, so it was always a coin flip between the Broncos and the Chargers for me. For who's going to be third, and who's fourth.
And I actually had the Chargers number 2. I mean, they're crazy behind injuries. They got everybody injured out there
every year.
But yeah, I had Chargers number 2, and my coin flip was them and the Raiders. Right. I didn't know if it was a fairy tale season last year for the Raiders. So I'm sitting.
I just think the Raiders ain't got the continuity yet. But I mean, it being a long season, I think by the time it hits mid-season, I think the Raiders are going to be in full stride.
And that's a fair take, but think about this. Think about what me and Eric are saying right now. Forget about the conference. We're talking about the division maybe being third or fourth. That's what we're talking about. And the whole talk was, oh, they're a quarterback away. When Russ gets there, this what? Nah, bro. You got to fight for your division.
Here's something I got for you.
I just think it was too overhyped to me.
Here's something I got for you there. They stand out. Why is it that? Because Nathaniel Hackett got that coaching job because, to your point, what you were saying, Eric, you know, he was working with Aaron Rodgers. You ain't do shit with Aaron Rodgers. That I believe a lot of these coaches, they have been made by the quarterbacks that they had. Because if that's the case, why doesn't Greg Roman have a head coaching job? Ain't nobody asking for a head coaching job. Why?
Oh, you didn't hear that, Shawn?
What did he say?
What about like your coach?
Oh yeah, right. Yeah, the quarterbacks are making some of these coordinators out to be these geniuses when it's really the quarterbacks who's making them out to their jobs. They're getting them their jobs at the end of the day. And Nathaniel Hackett, now he's brought in a consultant and stuff like that. That already lets you know that I might be a little bit in over my head. I know I'm calling plays and stuff like that. I just don't see this going well.
To your point on the Greg Roman thing, it's the reason why he's not a head coach. I have trouble with him being the offensive coordinator at times because I'm not a fan of his play call personally.
Well, you and I both agree, and correct me if I'm wrong. Greg Roman, he only appeals to a certain type of quarterback. Lamar Jackson.
I'm not
Kaepernick.
We're not agreeing on that because I honestly think Lamar would be better in a better system than his.
No, I got that. No, what I'm saying is Greg Roman, his niche, he works with quarterbacks like a Lamar Jackson, Colin Kaepernick, and even a 2011 Alex Smith, the running type of quarterback. If you gave Greg Roman a regular pocket passing quarterback, I don't think he'll know what to do. So to your point, yes, Lamar Jackson could benefit from a much, much better coordinator than Greg Roman. I think I've told you how much I dislike him every year in that case. So, and all in all, right now, before Russ can cook, throw that thing in the microwave because it ain't looking too good right now. They 2-1, and it's not promising. They're not getting their money's worth off that. They're not getting their value. But since we were just talking about Lamar Jackson,
score update real quick. Second quarter, 7-7.
Told you. Look, and Jameis ain't even playing. Who they got? Taysom Hill, quarterbacking.
Andy Dalton.
I haven't really been
Andy Dalton. Wow, I forgot he was still in the league.
It should be Andy Dalton.
I think you're right. I forgot he's still out there. we'll see how that goes. So since we just talked about Lamar Jackson and the matchup this week, which I believe this game should have been flexed to another game, but I just need to hear no there. But I want to ask the question though: what do you prefer, Lamar Jackson versus Josh Allen every year, or Josh Allen versus Patrick Mahomes every year?
You gonna ask Eric that?
Us, all three of us. And what I'm hitting towards is, are we now getting the new?
I'm taking all comers.
No, what I mean is, are we getting? Which one do you prefer to see each year? Like, I feel like this is kind of.
But that's what I said. You asking Eric?
Well, I'm just going because have the conversation.
I got you.
Because this is like the Brady Manning thing. Every year we got that matchup for them.
I mean, honestly, the way it is right now, I mean, it would be hard for me to say either one of them because at this moment in time, I got to worry about dealing with Joe Burrows and Deshaun Watson twice a year. Okay. So if I can think about somebody that's outside of my division that has to play every year, like Manning versus Brady, I mean, I'm stuck with two elite, quarterbacks in my division.
Yep.
Okay. Okay. So I mean, and that's not even to sit there and say, do I think the boy Pickett for Pittsburgh? I think he'll probably be okay in due time, but since he's not playing, he's not on the radar at this moment. So I mean, but he could emerge eventually as a fourth elite quarterback just in one division. Like I said, we could be looking the same way that the AFC West is. So I mean, I ain't looking outside of my division right now. I don't give a damn about Josh Allen or Patrick Mahomes at this point. I mean, I know that was the big thing that they wanted to try to do. Make us play the Chiefs every year or make us play the Bills every year. Right. But damn it, we gotta play the Browns and the Bengals twice a year. I'm more concerned about that than anything.
Gotcha. Okay.
And not to put it out there that way, he might not even be in the AFC next year. Just
true. I ain't gonna lie. And I asked this question because of this.
He getting franchised. Do not get it twisted. He gonna be in the AFC next year.
Sell the house.
Let's ask you. So let's just sticking on this topic though.
Mm-hmm.
Which one is the more polarizing matchup?
Well, the NFL is going to easily paint the picture of Allen and Mahomes.
Okay.
For obvious reasons.
Okay.
That I don't know if you want to go that deep into.
What? No, absolutely. Go ahead. What we got?
I mean, it's obvious reasons. It's the the format of how they think a quarterback should be. Mm-hmm. Everything from look to how they play to they would love to paint that picture of Allen and Mahomes every single year.
But the reality of it is the fact that it could end up being more so Mahomes and Herbert than it is Mahomes and Allen, just because
which they'll be fine with.
You got to play them twice a year, so I mean they'll get more exposure out of actually having that battle between the two of them than they would between Mahomes and Allen playing each other once a year.
But once again, they will be fine with that too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Over the other side of say Jackson against any of them.
I like the Jackson Allen angle because it's such a definite divide between two sides. Just call it what it is. You got who gonna ride for Lamar Jackson. We already know who gonna ride for him. And then you got the other side who's gonna go with Josh Allen. He's in a part of New York and whatnot that is different from the city. And Lamar Jackson is from, he's representing that. Actually, you have two fan bases, like they're so polar opposite of what they are.
But you just took two takes, right? You asked us in the sense of what did you think the NFL?
What I know, I asked what would be more polarizing between the two. That's what
now if you're asking me personally,
that's what I'm asking. That's what I'm asking.
I mean, I want to see Jackson succeed hands down.
Right.
I'm a Jackson fan. Even though I'm a Giants fan, I need my Giants to win if we meet in the Super Bowl. Let's just put that out there. But especially from going back in the past. But I want Jackson to do very well. I love the fact of the storyline of just defeating these haters each and every year because there's haters for him. The goalpost always moves. We spoke about that last year. It always moves for him. He could pass for 5,000 yards. It don't matter. He could throw 60 touchdowns. It don't matter. He's not that quarterback. Or he passed for that amount of yards, but he lost in the playoffs. I believe Peyton did that for years.
Yes.
Very much so. But there was no question about Peyton's skills and what position he played and all that type of stuff. So I love the fact of him killing these haters. If I'm going against the two, then I would say probably Allen. because you know how much I've been up on the Bills
Mhm.
each and every year, and seeing his story of getting past that hurdle, which is Mahomes,
Right.
you know, and making a staple for himself. And then just the Bills story in general of going to 4 straight Super Bowls and losing every single year, you know, the greatest team that never won type thing, and just seeing that storyline. So yeah, if I'm putting it together like that, then I would say Jackson and Allen for me personally, for those reasons.
And
What you
see,
got?
the one thing about that with the Jackson and Allen thing is
Uh-huh.
the fact that they're always going to be linked regardless because they were in the same draft.
Yes.
So I mean, you're always going to have the fact, how high Allen went and how the fact that Lamar was the last person taken in the first round.
Mhm.
But yet, when you fast forward their career so far, Lamar's already got an MVP trophy,
Yes,
to
he
whereas
does.
Allen, I mean, when we really sit back and look at it, I mean, yes, the Bills have gotten better every year, which is what you want to see. But in retrospect, what has Allen really done? Like he hasn't accomplished anything, on a personal side, no personal acolytes. He doesn't have any team acolytes. So I mean, at the end of the day, Lamar still is one up on Allen at this moment.
Yes. And to agree or disagree, Josh Allen didn't really become Josh Allen that we see now until they got him Stephon Diggs and those
Right.
guys there,
Correct.
to be perfectly honest.
Yeah.
And
But like I said, the two guys you're comparing him against are both, MVPs of the
yeah,
league, and he's not. So I mean,
right.
one could argue that he's not on either one of their levels, at least until he gets to that point.
And now, which always is head scratching, mind boggling, the fact that the whole contract thing, because they looking at him like, say, regardless of what Baltimore is, there's people who think that he doesn't even deserve the contract that Josh Allen got, and which is crazy in itself to think. And you spoke about the fact that both were in the same draft. Remember, in that draft, we didn't even think this Allen was the best Josh in the draft. Remember, at the time, it was about Josh Rosen and those guys. He's not even in the league now. Sam Darnold don't even play for the same squad. Baker
Nor does
Mayfield
Baker
don't play for the
Mayfield.
same
He don't
squad.
play. He don't play.
Right.
Actually, Baker Mayfield and Sam Darnold play for the same squad.
Right now they do, which is crazy in
But I'm about
itself.
to say he don't
Right.
even play for his squad there.
Right. So the guy who they said to be running back and everything else in between, and they won't give him his just due. Now you're looking at that and at one point, Josh Allen, they were like, look, he's about to be a bust, son, until they whatever they worked their thing, but they gave him what they needed. And even still, like I think that's why I feel like this game tonight or today, I wish it was a Sunday night game. I wanted that one to be in that primetime game for Baltimore and Buffalo. I would love to see that so you can actually see who's elevating who in this game. Okay, how who's elevating what team, how they really are just showing out. I would think, but hey, that's just is my wants and needs. But as far as the Allen Mahomes side, okay, it's like they put them in there based off of that playoff game last season. Before that, it's like to Eric's point, Josh Allen hadn't done anything to even warrant him to be in the same conversation.
When we're even talking about, and it's kind of taking the tiers to it, kind of like how Eric was just saying.
It's levels
if you're putting Lamar, if you're putting Lamar above Allen because of the accolades, then you're also looking at Mahomes like you're not really in the same category.
Not even close.
You know what I mean? So that's why I'm like, you can paint the picture because they're trying to build something for the future to steer you away from what they know is the inevitable Brady being gone, Rodgers being gone. What's going to be the next storyline? So they're trying to steer whatever that's going to be. But there's catching up for Mahomes to catch up to Mahomes, I should say.
The one thing about Manning and Brady was always the fact that Manning had the awards. He had all, he had the numbers. The stats was all Manning. Brady had the championships.
Exactly.
So that was always the thing. It was, the guy who not really putting up like these big numbers, but winning the championships to the guy who's putting up, some of the biggest numbers you've ever seen. Right. And he just couldn't get past that other guy. So but when you look at it, I mean, Josh Allen ain't neither. He's not the guy putting up the big numbers where he's breaking these numbers and he's not winning championships. So it's kind of like I said,
and I think he knows that there's also no excuse either this year because going into the year, during the year, everybody's looking on both sides of the ball and going, bro, you have the best team.
Right? Yeah. I mean, absolutely. Like
we don't look
compare them to my team up and down.
Right.
Yeah. If we're looking, not, for position for position, then yeah, they got more checks than we do. Position for by position. I think we got the better quarterback, but outside of that, I mean, yeah, they position versus position, they're better than us in that.
I'll tell you this though. Keyword team. I need them to buzz down to Ken Dorsey and them down there, because if you look, they keep allowing Josh Allen to throw 50, 60 times a game. They're not making it out of the AFC. That ratio is too crazy.
If they don't teach him how to slide.
Oh, that's a whole nother thing. Yeah, that's a whole nother situation.
Let's forget all of that.
Yeah,
if they
that's
don't
a whole nother thing.
You see this man jump into a body of 3 people thinking he could just dive over everything. Like, bruh.
Yes. I will take if I'll take Lamar running and the act of him getting hurt, I'll take him before I take Josh Allen, because Josh Allen just runs reckless, like a lot of
Lamar knows how to protect himself.
He did so much so that he gained 20 pounds.
He got hurt last year, off of something when those guys, not off of his fault, off of them guys getting into that backfield, through that offensive line that we had, and and them guys getting to him. So I mean, other than that, I mean, that was just one of them things that happened. Other than that, he knows how to protect himself.
Yeah, he does. Yeah. He does.
Allen thinks he's a running back.
Yeah, he out there playing. He out there plays like a juiced up Taysom Hill. Like when Taysom is out there, he just out there playing. I'm like, hey, get together, because he falls back to the old Josh Allen stuff, which was at one point was the thing that they say, hey, you may not be working out for us. So we're gonna see, man. It's gonna be a good game. I expect that to be a good game. So. But we know what you guys came here for, and we appreciate you guys tapping with us live here today on Hot Seat Podcast presents Football Talk. We are getting now. Go ahead.
Before you get into those picks, Gary, I'm going to put out there that I'm disappointed in you. You know I want to talk to you about this Michigan State. You didn't want to jump on here, so let it be known I'm saving everything for next week and the week after and the week after that. I'm going to get you. I'm gonna get you.
He want to put me on blast for my text message talking about. So now your text work now because Maryland beating on Michigan State. You know what I'm saying?
Oh my God.
We gonna talk.
Right. And of course we're streaming live.
Don't work now. Yeah, your Wi-Fi down or something. What's up, Gary? Where you at?
Never missed the show.
Never.
Right?
Ever.
Never missed the show. Right? You ain't got your picks.
Oh my God, that's hilarious.
There we go.
There he is.
Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. But you know what? Let me throw this, and we should have had you on here. Like I said, we should have actually pulled you in. Is it the coaching? Is it the scouting? Was pulling the people in just not right this year? Because I've never seen them like this, and we're going back because one of our every week listeners, Gary, he's a Michigan State fan, Michigan State alumni. And it's not even a crack on that squad. Like you heard how I just talked about Michigan as far as being overrated in that sense. I've just never seen it like this. I've never seen it like this. I don't know if you want to throw a comment in there. What do you got? Defenses. Oh, yeah. So he got put his comment up.
Yeah.
Oh sure. Man. Yeah. Yeah. It's see, these are the things that become I guess you could say evident through certain people leaving. That's why I was saying about Michigan. Because remember, we had a whole different quarterback. Now we got McCarthy in there and stuff like that. But I think a lot of things were disguised by the fact of Aiden Hutchinson and how good the defense was and stuff like that. But yeah, this is an eye opener. They got to really flip script. They really got to flip script.
Get it together.
But on the other side of things, and not to go all the way back into college, I just think Maryland is up and coming, bro.
Man, Coach Loxley, man,
I told you that last week when they played us. I just think they're right there. But go ahead. I know we're going into the picks.
Yeah, a lot of holes. Yes, you do. Hey, call them up, man. Call them up. Let them know they need to fix this. Tell them they need to fix this stuff.
Got that man driving out there at University Park. Go ahead.
Of course, we're streaming live, man, on YouTube, Twitch TV, as well as our Facebook channel, our Facebook page as well. But we know why you guys are here. We out here for these picks, our weekly picks. So before we go forward with that, let's go ahead and pull up our last week results and our overalls, which it's kind of interesting. So last week We got Earl coming in at a good 8. All of us were hovering around 500 almost. 8-8 for Earl, 7-9 for Dave, 7-9 for me, 6-10 for Eric. Overall, Earl still leading the way with 26.5 and 19. Shout out to that Houston tie. 24.5 and 21 for Dave, 22.5 and 23 for me.
Need another tie to make these whole numbers.
19.5 there. But we, our loyal listeners and supporters, man, they put in their picks as well. So let's get there. So Gary and Malik, their picks for last week, they both went 6 and 10. So y'all was about as bad as us. But I'm pretty sure y'all weren't expecting some of these games to go down like they went. It is what it is. But all in all, man, we got another week of picks. It's week 4, and of course at the end we're going to pick Thursday night, week 5 as well. Let's see what you guys will get.
Talking about the game.
Yeah, he's coming again as well. So let's go ahead and get into these picks, man. So I know right now we all picked the Vikings to beat the Saints. I think it's right now the score is still sitting at 7-7 right now.
It's 10-7 Vikings.
Okay, let's go ahead and get in these picks. Let's get it. Browns at Falcons. I like the Falcons, man. They're a scrappy squad. They're playing in Atlanta. Myles Garrett, I believe, is injured, questionable, maybe out for this game. Jacoby Brissett has been serviceable. They just can't score points, I feel like, sometimes. The defense ain't. I got the Falcons in an upset, man. I don't know how much. I'm not sure how much of the upset that is. But
I was just about to say that. Earl has the Falcons also.
Cleveland.
I got Cleveland. And
what you got? You got Cleveland as
well?
well?
Got Cleveland.
Yeah.
We got Cleveland.
Got the Browns. Lee got the Browns as well.
All right.
AFC North on the comeback this weekend.
Bills at Ravens. The weather's the weather's holding out.
AFC North on the comeback this weekend.
I thought it might have been a messy game, and I don't think it's going to be. I don't think it's supposed to really rain like that. So I think it should be good for Baltimore. I just need Greg Roman to call a good game, please, Lord. I got Baltimore in this game, man.
I know who Eric got. What they got?
Are we calling for a shootout?
Don't say it that way. We are talking some inside.
That's secondary, man.
Earl and I are both taking the Bills.
I'm just hoping that, like last year when Washington went out to Dallas and took their own branded benches, that they don't get blown the hell out, because this week they are debuting their all black jerseys and helmets.
I got the damn what y'all wearing.
Right? I was thinking the same thing.
I just hope they don't get blown out.
That's swaying my decision one way or another.
But yeah, we out. Look,
it did work out for the Bengals. For the Bengals.
It did. But I mean, that in other circumstances.
Look, you already know what my pick is, so as much as they are causing me gray hair, I won't. Yeah, in this matchup, I'm only picking one way.
You picking who?
I'm only picking one way, and I'm not going Dallas way. Washington way, brother.
Yeah. Oh, you gonna watch me? All right. I just had to make sure you said it.
Yeah.
Put it on air.
Yeah. Hey, if anybody want to follow me at Twitter at Shawn Xavier, I'll be there the whole time during the game. I'm in rare form every Sunday. So. Cowboys for Malik. All right.
Yep.
Everybody else got Dallas, I'm assuming. Okay.
Yep. You assume right.
Seahawks at Lions. I know I was touting Geno's his stats on this, but I think the Lions take the win on this one.
I'm going with the Lions, and Earl is going with the Lions.
Man, the Lions is one of them teams that, like, as much as you want to root for them, and I'm pretty sure nobody attests more than Gary. They just get you so pumped up so high, and then all
And
of a
then
sudden they just
at the
they
end,
just take a hit, man. Like,
something weird.
it's crazy. I'm gonna go with them this week, but
Yeah.
still,
Yeah, they are missing.
I'm still giving them the benefit of the doubt over Gino.
I like that defense. I like the Lions
Gino?
defense.
Russell 2.0.
Oh man.
Right. This Gino week to make me a believer.
All right, let's see what we got next. Chargers at Texans. The Texans have been flirting with a win these last 3 weeks, and they've been playing hard, man, each week. And the Chargers, man, right now, the injuries, and they just don't seem right to me. I got the Texans in this one.
Dang, I really Okay, who you say you got Texans?
Yeah, I got Houston. Gary got Houston on there.
I'm gonna go with the Chargers.
I'm gonna go with the Chargers. Let me see. I don't
like
think
Houston, but I gotta make up
have.
some ground.
Oh no, he got the Texans. Earl got the Texans.
Yep. Malik and Gary both got the Texans this week.
Okay.
So it's just me and D with the Chargers. I gotta make up some ground.
Yep. That's gonna be they get to Herbert, man. It's gonna be a long day. Trust and believe. Titans at Colts. It depends on what teams show up for either side, bro. Gosh almighty, this is a struggle.
Flip the coin.
They ain't lying. They playing in Indy.
I'm going with Tennessee.
Earl and I are both going with the Colts.
And I got Tennessee this week. I think they're gonna make what's the quarterback name for the Colts? Matt Ryan. I think they're gonna make it hard for him today. Pause. What we got over here? Titans.
King Henry and the Colts. Oh,
okay.
I was like, what?
I was confused. I'm like, did he get traded? I'm confused.
Maybe he meant King Henry versus the Colts.
Maybe. Gotcha. Yep.
Bears at Giants. I got Giants. Giants should have won that game last week.
I got Giants. Earl has Giants. Here you go, Eric. Here's one for you.
Chicago.
I knew it.
The Bears.
Who they got?
Looks like we got. They put their pick in. You got Giants. Gary got Giants.
All right. I'll see you, Malik. We'll talk about that later.
Yep. Leak on the Bears. Gary on the Giants. Jags at Eagles. I think this is going to be a really good game. But Sunshine has a tendency sometimes to kind of like miss sometimes. And I think the Eagles and Darius Slay and those guys going to take advantage of that. I got the Eagles this week.
Earl and I have the Eagles.
I'm going with Philly.
I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised though if Jacksonville pull something out. I mean, they do got Doug
I would be
Peterson.
very surprised because I don't think it's going to be a good game.
We gonna see. I wonder what Doug Peterson got up his sleeve. You know.
I think there's more reason why it's not going to be a good game.
I see you. Malik took them Jags.
You got Doug going back to Philly. Man, Philly coming out there to put a stomping on these boys.
Yeah, but I'll say this: the way They were so stagnant
Eric
last week
Eric.
against Washington. Like that game should have been like 60-0, and it'll end up being a 24-8 game, which it wasn't even that close. So if their offense sputtered, that could be a problem for Philly, but I think they still pull it out though. Jets at Steelers. Struggle game. Who are the quarterbacks in this game?
I don't know, but I got the Steelers. Earl has the Steelers.
Yeah, I do too. I got Steelers.
I don't think either one of them teams is playing with who's going to eventually be the starting quarterback by the end of the season.
They should be undefeated, Gary. They should be. Yeah, to your point, Eric, yes. Either one of them. Both Gary and Malik got the Steelers. But I got Steelers this week.
Eric?
I'm going with the AFC. All I'm going to say is the AFC North is going to come up this weekend. That's
not a good thing for you.
That's the best you want coming out of my. That's the best you going to get coming out of my mouth. I'm not saying nobody in particular. I'm just saying the AFC North is going to come up this weekend.
But that's not good for you. You need somebody for.
Right.
Look, it is what it is. I mean,
all right.
Sometimes it falls that way.
Cardinals at Panthers. I got the Cardinals this week. Panthers.
Cardinals also.
Yeah, the Panthers hating life right now. Looks like McCaffrey is out again, potentially, or questionable with an injury.
Here's one for you, Eric, again.
I'm going with Arizona.
This ain't the one. I think, it's... What you got, Gary and Malik? Arizona for Malik. Cardinals for Gary. Right. We ain't seen a progressive commercial since Baker got down to Carolina.
That money changed.
Not a one. Not a one. Patriots at Packers. I got the Packers.
I got the Packers.
And
Earl has the Packers.
Same.
Who you got, Malik?
Malik, go ahead and tell him you got the pack. Yep, Gary got the Packers. You was the only believer last week. I know. I apologize.
I don't.
Broncos at Raiders.
Didn't I pick the Packers last week over the Tampa Bay?
Last week?
I don't remember.
Give me a second. I'll go back. I got it here. Give me a second.
Does that game even count? Wasn't that game like 11-10 at one point?
Yeah, you did pick the Packers, Eric.
I thought so.
Yeah, okay.
Right,
So
fact check out there, Malik.
Yeah.
Put it out there. You the only believer last week.
Right.
I picked the Packers. You know what I'm saying? See, when I actually give your team some credit, this how you gonna do me, dog? You would treat me like this? Like I didn't even say what I said, even though I was there when I said it. Word. All right.
Broncos at Raiders, man.
Oh my god.
This is gonna be interesting. We're gonna see. Do Raiders get right?
Microwave.
Or is Russ gonna be in the microwave or you gonna be cooking? I don't know. I'm picking the Raiders.
Where we at? Oh. You say you picking the Raiders, Shawn?
Yeah, I got the Raiders.
All right, I'm picking Microwave Russ. Earl is picking the Raiders.
Elite got the Raiders.
If they was in Denver, I would go with Denver. But since they playing in Vegas, I'm going with the Raiders.
All right. Well, I'm the lone one out there.
Everybody going to Raiders, man.
All right. Cook 'em, Russ.
Our Sunday night game, Chiefs at Buccaneers. I think this game was planned with the thoughts that the Buccaneers be at full health and the Chiefs, whatever.
A lot of people coming back from this week, though.
Yeah. But I think this is going to be
Casey.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I think it's gonna be KC this week. I don't think this game can be close, to be honest. I think you'll see more Tom throwing some tablets on the sideline. Gary picking the Chiefs as well.
I got the Chiefs. Earl's picking the Chiefs.
Yeah, the game. I think they're supposed to move in the game to Minnesota. I think
it could be in Tampa Bay.
Is it in Tampa Bay?
Yeah, they didn't know if it was gonna play because it didn't. The storm didn't hit Tampa.
Yeah, it didn't hit them directly.
All right, gotcha. All right,
so it's gonna be in Tampa.
Okay, interesting. Our Monday night game, Rams at 49ers.
Earl has the Rams. I got the Rams.
I got 49ers.
I'm going with the Rams.
It's going to be one of those. This is one of those good games. Divisional game. The defense is going to show out. And I think it'll be the 49ers defense. Gary going with the Rams as well. Malik as well.
All right.
And then, of course, we now added our Thursday night Week 5 game. So, the Broncos lose today, and they go turn around and got to play on a short week on Thursday. It's going to get real interesting in Denver all of a sudden. Just to
but you picked them to lose, so that means.
Yeah, so that being the case, I think they'll lose Sunday, and I think they may win. I'll pick them on Thursday to win in like a game. So I got Broncos next Thursday night against the Colts because they're playing in Denver.
Earl and I have the Broncos.
How many games we got different?
You have one. You really only have one that you're standing alone. Malik, take the Colts.
That's a Chicago game, ain't it?
That is the Chicago game.
I saw that too. I saw that. That's hilarious. They had
go ahead and put me down for another lone wolf game.
All right.
Gary got Indy as well. So I got our picks in this week.
Gary and Malik, we should have asked at the beginning. Who was your pick for this morning's game? Vikings against Saints. The game that's going on right now in London. I'll just throw it in there. I don't know if they heard me.
Yeah, I don't know if they didn't.
Oh, there we go.
Vikings. Malik got Vikings.
Gary, who you got for the game going on right now in London? Vikings Saints.
Yeah, he said Cousins.
Got it. All right.
And of course, man, we got our new addition. Eric hinted at it. Our Madden playing, even though he's not liking Madden right now. Let's see what Madden. Let's see what Madden says this. Oh my God. Let's see what Madden says this week as far as picks, man. So Madden has been spot on every Thursday night game. I'm loving it. So they picked Cincinnati over Miami. That happened. They got New Orleans over Minnesota. What's the score right now?
I don't know. It's on commercial. Hold on.
Okay. I think I had it in the game cast. Let's see. It's 13-7. Minnesota over. It's at halftime right now.
13-7 at halftime.
Madden says Cleveland over Atlanta, Buffalo over Baltimore. Sorry, Eric. Dallas over Washington. Seattle over Detroit. Houston over the Chargers. Oh no, Madden might be on something. Indy over Tennessee. Chicago over your Giants, Dave. I'm sorry.
Man, forget daggone Madden, man. Oh, Raven behind.
Jacksonville over Philly. That could be doable. Pittsburgh over the Jets. Carolina over the Cardinals. All right. Green Bay over the Pats. Denver over the Raiders. Tampa beating KC. And the Rams over the 49ers.
You know what? Just because of Madden picking against us, that's why Eric is playing about 2, 3, 4 seasons doing a free trial, son. Forget y'all. He ain't buying
That's right. That's right.
Don't tell them that.
Still got 6 hours of playtime left. Holla.
They would be like, wait a minute, we need to disconnect this connection right now because we don't know what's going on right now.
And, look, and that's fine if they do. I'm fine with that too.
Oh my God. And that's our picks this week, man. It's week 4. It's already kind of started over in London with New Orleans and Minnesota playing right now. Of course, all your other games will be starting at 1
started
o'clock.
back on Thursday. Just for
True,
point of reference.
true story facts. Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, that'd be throwing me off. It do be throwing me off. Hopefully, I'll get shout out to my man Dave, man, for sending me the ultimate hookup. I'm gonna say this right now.
That's why I say forget NFL Plus.
That NFL Plus app, trash. They were talking about touting it there because last week I ended up I'm watching all these games, but I ended up having to watch the Washington game through a app that Dave shot to me because it wasn't on any of the broadcast channels. I have a ton of channels.
In Baltimore.
Yeah, I live in Baltimore.
No, I'm saying you
Yeah.
live right there.
Right.
Why don't you get Washington football?
Right.
I got trash ass team.
I got Ravens on 6 different Fox channels, and I had to watch the Washington game on like an app. I get
the Washington team that trash ass is on my TV.
Not this week.
Not this week,
Gary.
Thanks, Eric. Thanks, I appreciate it. But yeah, like between that, like this is all this regional stuff. There is be in the way, man. It'd be in the way. Let's see what we got. Hey, hold on. We not gonna put that out there right now. We gotta go put. We know it's out there.
That sounds like something.
It sounds like something that I might have saw. I'm not sure. But yeah, man. And I'm not about to go buy Sunday ticket just to. No, I'm not. I got Red Zone. I'll find the game where I can find the game. So hopefully I'll see it today. I don't know.
So you're buying NFL Plus to get the replay of your.
Actually, on NFL Plus, I end up listening to the game. So I'm listening to the game like via the radio broadcast. That's what I'm listening to the game for. I'm like, what? This is trash. Either way. I don't know, man.
Unfortunately, I get them on the radio down here too on my series. I don't know why, but I get Washington trash ass games on everything.
I don't like your attitude right now here, buddy.
I'm just saying they're on all.
Yeah,
I get them all.
It is.
So I've heard. So I've heard.
Yes, man. So it's the Hot Seat Podcast. Presents football talk, man. Enjoy your Sunday. Make sure I'm gonna try to cook a little bit. Your boy ain't really ate nothing all week, so we're gonna see how this work out today. Pray for me, Lord. Pray for me.
Hold it down.
Yeah, again, turning 40 is the worst. Yo,
shout out to them Ravens and Madden, baby. It's your boy.
Trash ass game.